In today's lesson, we'll be learning about the exponent laws. Sometimes they're referred to as rules. Just to refresh your memory, this would be considered the base. This would be considered the exponent, and this would be considered the coefficient. Here are all the exponent laws. When you're multiplying powers with the same base, you add the exponents. When you're dividing powers with the same base, you subtract the exponents. When you have a power raised to another power, you multiply the exponents. When you have a negative exponent, you write its reciprocal and the exponent changes from negative to positive. And last but not least, the zero exponent rule is pretty simple. Anything raised to the exponent of 0 is equal to 1. In our first example, we want to simplify x to the power of 3 multiplied by x to the power of 4. When you multiply a power by a power with the same base, you just have to add the exponents. Let's write that down over here. X to the power of 3 multiplied by x to the power of 4. They have the same base, therefore you can just add the exponents, and that will be equal to x to the power of 7. In our second example, we want to simplify 2x to the power of 2 multiplied by 4x to the power of 3. Let's first rewrite this question. 2x to the power of 2 multiplied by 4x to the power of 3. Before we deal with the exponents, let's take a look at the coefficients. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8. Now we can go ahead and take a look at the powers. We are multiplying powers with the same base, therefore we need to add the exponents. So that simplifies to x to the power of 2 plus 3. And the final answer is going to be 8x to the power of 5. You do not need to write that middle step in, however, I've done that for you. In our first example here, we want to simplify x to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3. Let's first rewrite this question. X to the power of 5 divided by x to the power of 3. You'll notice that we have a power being divided by a power with the same base. Therefore, we can go ahead and subtract the exponents. So that will give me x to the power of 5 minus 3, which is just x to the power of 2. In our second example, we want to simplify negative 6x to the power of 4 divided by 3x to the power of 2. You'll notice that I've written this question as a fraction. Remember that division is the same thing as a fraction. Let's first rewrite our question. So I have negative 6x to the power of 4 divided by 3x to the power of 2. I want to first take a look at the coefficients of negative 6 and positive 3. Negative 6 divided by positive 3 gives you negative 2. Because 6 divided by 3 is 2, and a negative number divided by a positive number gives you a negative number. At this point, we can deal with our powers. We're dividing powers with the same base, therefore we can subtract their exponents. And I'm going to write my final answer as negative 2x to the power of 2. In our first example, we want to simplify x to the power of 2 raised to the power of 3. In this situation, we have a power of a power, and we are going to multiply the exponents. So that is equal to x to the power of 2 multiplied by 3, and our final answer is x to the power of 6. In our second example, we want to simplify negative 3x to the power of 4 raised to the power of 2. This question will take a few steps, but I want to first rewrite my question. Negative 3x to the power of 4 raised to the power of 2. Remember, when there's an exponent outside of the bracket, everything in the brackets gets raised to that exponent. Let's first take a look at the coefficient of negative 3. A lot of students tend to make a mistake here. Negative 3 is raised to the exponent of 2, which means you have negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, which gives you positive 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, and a negative multiplied by a negative gives you a positive number. X to the power of 4 to the power of 2, we want to multiply the exponents, and our final answer should be 9x to the power of 8. In our first example, we want to simplify x to the power of negative 2. You'll notice that we have a negative exponent here, x to the power of negative 2. What we want to do is write the reciprocal of x, which is 1 over x. When you do that, the exponent, which was negative, now becomes positive. So you have 1 over x to the power of 2. In our second example, we want to simplify 2x to the power of 4 raised to the power of negative 3. Again, you'll notice that we have a negative exponent here, and we want to deal with that first. So I'm going to rewrite my question, 2x to the power of 4 raised to the power of negative 3. I want to write the reciprocal of this term, 2x to the power of 4. So that's going to give me 1 over 2x to the power of 4. The negative exponent now becomes positive. And at this point, you can use your power of a power rule, which we used in the previous question. Therefore, 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And x to the power of 4 raised to the power of 3 is x to the power of 12, because we want to multiply those exponents. Therefore, my final answer is 1 over 8x to the power of 12. In our first example, we want to simplify x to the power of 0. My first step is to rewrite the question. With the zero exponent rule, anything that is raised to an exponent of 0 is equal to 1. So x to the power of 0 is equal to 1. In our second example, we want to simplify negative 4x to the power of 3 raised to the exponent 0. Again, let's first rewrite our question. Negative 4x to the power of 3 raised to the power of 0. Remember, anything that is raised to an exponent of 0 becomes 1. Furthermore, since this exponent is on the outside of the brackets, everything inside the brackets gets raised to that exponent. Therefore, negative 4 to the power of 0 is 1, and x to the power of 3 to the power of 0 is also 1. And 1 times 1 is 1.